2 Corinthians 10:5. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Welcome to Dave and Jen Ignite, and by the end of this video you will be able to, with a little effort, memorize, quote this verse from 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 5. Hear it again. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. I'm going to turn around here and just highlight on the whiteboard here these same things that we just heard again. 2 Corinthians 10:5. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. This is a wonderful verse. This is a verse that's going to take some thought to get through. Matter of fact, I want you to look up in the dictionary the word pretension. Okay, I had to look it up. Also, another great thing when you're memorizing is to at least take a look at other translations in case you're not just grasping what it is, and sometimes that can help something to stick in your mind. This is the NIV. Some of you are memorizing other translations. Fantastic. That's awesome. Keep it up. You go. 2 Corinthians 10:5 in the NIV. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. This is a great thought life verse, a great verse to help us say the battle is in our minds and in the minds of others. And we want to win this battle, not because we just want to be victorious, but because this is what the Lord says. 2 Corinthians 10:5. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Four-sided coin was very helpful for me on this one. I'll put a link up above so that you can see it. That's and the why and how to memorize scriptures. The four-sided coin is explained in that second half of that. But to just take that 3x5 card and write out that verse and then go over it and over it and over it. And what you do is you put that coin at the top. I'll let you watch the video and get all of that. But you go around a number of times, and that worked wonders for me anyway on doing this. Also, this is the first time I've ever done this. But I went to the dictionary because I had trouble with the word pretension. Maybe that's a common word for you, but I had trouble with the word pretension. So I went to the dictionary, a great tool. Went to the dictionary, and two different dictionaries actually, and looked up what does the word pretension mean. And so I want you to do the same. I'll give you a heads up. It was surprising to me just because I hadn't really grasped the word. So you can do that. Another thing is, and I did this also, was I looked up a couple of different translations for the word pretension. What did they use? How did they translate that? And that was helpful as well. But in this video, I'm just going to focus on the NIV so we don't get confused. 2 Corinthians 10:5. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. In the last half of that verse, notice that the first thing we do is we take captive. We take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. So the last half, remember that, at least in the NIV, the first part of it is we take captive. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. And if you're finding value in this video, do me a favor, yes. Click like, subscribe, click on that bell so you can receive notifications. But not just for me, so that content like this can be highlighted in the algorithm for YouTube. Once something gets liked and subscribed to, they tend to then put it out to other people and suggest it. So 2 Corinthians 10:5. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Let's check that again right up here on the board. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Well, along with a 3x5 card, I find it helpful sometimes to just get the Post-it note out and use that Post-it note, write it out. A number of things happen. You've written it out on the 3x5 card, you've gone around it and just verbalized it many times, you're hearing it, you've written it out again, now you have it so that you can put it on the top of your notebook, your book, your planner, whatever you have that you carry around with you a lot, or inside the front cover so it doesn't just get knocked off the outside cover. But use whatever means necessary to memorize this verse. I know some of you have memorized 2 Corinthians 10:4. I'll put a link to that above as well, so that you can get back to that. If you have questions, or if you have a verse that you would like to see on this channel so that you could memorize it, or that we could memorize it, please feel free. Comment below and put in there what verse you would like to see, or just a comment about this particular verse, something that's been helpful for you. Well, once again, please like, subscribe, and click on that bell to receive notification. 2 Corinthians 10:5. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. And we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians 10:5. Until we see each other again, I'm Dave. God bless you.